to be not looking for happiness, but to look for Shuddhi, Samruddhi. All of these things will come chasing you. You will yourselves be able to enjoy lasting happiness. And once you do these two things, the quality, a good quality of an Adhyatmik seeker or a spiritual seeker is to bring these learnings into real life. You need to be perfect as a student. Each one of us needs to be perfect as a disciple. Or Bako Dhyanam, the crane which is standing on one leg, its focus and concentration, Shwanasa Nidra. You cannot be spread all over the place, at least for some period of time. Like I often say, anything between a 1,000 days to about 5 years' time. Bharatiya Sanskriti, our Veda Paddhatis, our Tantra Paddhatis, our Mantra Yantra Paddhatis, they have such amazing richness in it that you ask for it and you have Paddhatis that you can follow for your sadhana. You're doing half an hour, 45 minutes of sadhana, and the rest of the day you're living your life very randomly. What's the point? So then you'll choose whatever a consistent time is. Whatever is the time that you wake up, do your kriyas, do your vandana. Be consistently anchored in a guru, a paddhati, a grantha, a jnana, and focus and go deep. Along with the other three things that I've already spoken about, which is the physical Shuddhi, mental Shuddhi, the Karya Shuddhi, and the Adhyātmik Shuddhi, I'm sure you will be able to achieve a lot in your life. Om Trivevibhyo Namaha. Welcome back to Trishakti Healing. Sometime back, I started a series where I spoke to you primarily about the purpose of human life to be not looking for happiness, but to look for Shuddhi. And I had clarified this to you that as you look for Shuddhi, as you bring perfection and purity in your life, Santosha, Samruddhi, all of these things will come chasing you. You will yourselves be able to enjoy lasting happiness, and that will start multiplying. Now, in that series, I had created the first main video, and then I had subsequently spoken to you about physical Shuddhi and environmental Shuddhi, then about Manasik Shuddhi. Eventually, I had also spoken about Karmic Shuddhi with you. Today, I'm going to speak to you about Adhyātmik Shuddhi or spiritual purity. And that's the final stage of that Shuddhi process, and the 4 legs will be complete. Hope you've been able to review the first 4 videos of this series and apply some of those lessons in your life. If you haven't, the link is there in the description below. Please do watch these. And I hope you will benefit significantly from this. Also, do like and subscribe this video and share it widely. Please set an alert so that my videos reach you regularly. And with that, let's come to today's focus. Adhyātmik Shuddhi. Now, to understand the concept of Adhyātmik Shuddhi, first let's just stop and ask this question. What is it to have or lead a spiritual life, a good spiritual life, an Adhyātmik life? That spiritual life, that Adhyātmik life is not going to happen unless you do 3 things primarily. First one, as Patanjali Yoga Sutra's Yama Niyamas, 4th niyama is Swadhyaya, says this, that you have to understand your own self, your nature, your purpose, the way you need to improve yourself in this life. So that 4th principle of niyama, which is Swadhyaya, is your first quality of a good Adhyātmik life. Do I reflect upon myself? And do I own up who I am, what I do, the consequences of what I do? And am I constantly working towards improving myself? That Swadhyaya has to lead itself to the 5th pillar of niyama of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which is the step of Ishvara Pranidhana, which is recognizing your Ishta Devata, God, nature, Panchabhutas, and understanding and living by with surrenderance to the fact that there is a higher power than any one of us which is running our lives, running this world, and being in reverence to that power and acting in accordance with that Rita, the universal laws. And once you do these 2 things, the quality, a good quality of an Adhyātmik seeker or a spiritual seeker is to bring these learnings into real life and do your karmas with this living and understanding. That is a good Adhyātmik life, a good spiritual life. Now, to bring Shuddhi to this kind of a life, what do? First and foremost, and this is first of the 6 principles that I will leave with you today. The first principle is you have to learn to be a perfect student and a disciple. Remember, there are no perfect gurus. There are no perfect granthas. There are no perfect jnanas. a guru, granth, and a jnana in their scope are perfect. You need to be perfect as a student. Each one of us needs to be perfect as a disciple. And in our Shastras, there are many shlokas which explain how a person can be a good student or a good disciple. I mean, one of the many that I have heard is where they say, Kako Cheshta, Bako Dhyanam, Shwanasya Nidra, Grihatyagi, Alpahari, Vidyarthi, Idam Lakshanam. And in that, and there could be other versions also of this shloka because these are all things which are handed down to us, and we may have heard different versions. But the broad meaning of that is, if I say kako cheshta, which is going on trying as if like the crow does, and we have heard so many stories about the crow's resilience and how it approaches things, or bako dhyanam, the crane which is standing on one leg, its focus and concentration, shwanasya nidra. You see a dog sleeping peacefully, but if there is a slightest bit of sound, it'll get up and it'll be alert. So you have to be alert. You have to not give in into inertia and sleep and not be attentive. And grihatyagi doesn't mean that you leave your home. It means not indulging in excesses and comforts. And alpahari, eating little, only as much as your body requires. And that's one way to understand the quality of a good disciple and a student. And there could be many others. Like Adi Shankaracharya has spoken that a good disciple needs to bring viveka. And there are other qualities also he speaks about, but viveka, or loosely transliterated in means discretion, or carrier of discretion, or practitioner of discretion, somebody who has wisdom of life, who has processed the insights of life and can work with that. And an Adhyatmic life does require this. So your first step is to understand that unless you are a good student and a good disciple, you will not be, respectful towards Guru, Grantha, Jnana. And I keep going back to those three G's. We can all learn from a human guru, or we can all seek the Guru Tattva in everything and learn from that. And till you find a human guru, there are so many granthas which can help you, whether it's a Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads, or there are so many other granthas that you could pick and choose from, a different subject for another day. But that's what you could do. Or jnana, there are so many subjects that you could study. You could understand yoga, chakra sadhana, pranayam, vidhi, swara yoga. So many techniques are there which you could learn. So before you go there, you have to be that perfect student and a disciple to absorb that knowledge. And what do you do with that state of being a good student and a disciple? You need to be consistently anchored. That's your second step. Now, what is this consistent anchoring? Choose your path. Choose which paddhati you're going to follow. Choose which guru you're going to follow. Choose which God you're going to worship. Don't go all over the place. Today, there is a fashion of spiritual shopping. One day you are running to do some Ketu remedy, another day you are doing some Dhana Labha Yagya, then another day you are doing some pilgrimage, and this time you want to go to Shakti Peeths. Suddenly you realize there are also the Jyotirlingas to visit, and then this and then that, and some Snana and some Yagya. We are all over the place. A good Adhyatmic life needs to have a consistent anchoring. Along with that, the third step, which is steady focus. Now, how to have a consistent anchoring and a steady focus? Understand. If the focus of your spiritual life is to improve your material well-being, get more money, property, etc., then your sadhana needs to be focused around that. Yes, there are sadhanas which can help you with that. If your focus on sadhana is to improve your relationships, then focus on that. If the focus of your sadhana is to improve your own self, or if it is to achieve fame and name and power, then do that. Whatever is your primary focus, choose one. You cannot be spread all over the place, at least for some period of time. Like I often say, anything between 1,000 days to about 5 years' time. That's what it takes to really ground yourself in what particular aspect of sadhana. So choose one guru, one God, one paddhati, one approach, and be consistent. But for that, your focus has to be very clear. You have to really understand, what am I needing from my Adhyatmic journey, from my Adhyatmic focus, from my spiritual approach. You cannot be all over the place. You don't do a spiritual journey for randomness. I mean, there are so many people who will say, oh, I am just doing it for peace. But what is peace for you? How do you arrive at that sense of peace? and then put that down and then work towards it. Our Bharatiya Sanskriti, our Veda Paddhatis, our Tantra Paddhatis, our Mantra Yantra Paddhatis, they have such amazing richness in it that you ask for it and you have Paddhatis that you can follow for your sadhana, for material well being, for relationships, for attracting fame, wealth, uh, for your own development, for siddhis. Amazing amount of things. But for that, you have to focus, fix, because only with that fixed intention can you even attract the right path, the right guru. When your energies are aligned, you will attract your right guru, your right guru. All gurus are good. There are no imperfect gurus, no imperfect jnana, no imperfect grantha. We are imperfect. When we are imperfect, everything else will be imperfect for us. The moment we are perfect, we are consistently anchored, we are consistently focused, we will attract the right things. Make sense? So those are those first three pillars that you need to do. And then once you have that path, once you have that focus, be regular in your practice. Whatever amount of time you're spending in a particular day, being regular every day. Now don't say that one day I will do sadhana 3 times, another day, oh, I don't have time, I will do only once. Start small. Start with a fixed regime. Start with, if you say 20 minutes, then stick to that 20 minutes. Fine. Someday you may have 60 minutes, do that, but do the minimum that you have decided to do. That regularity is important. Now, I won't say sit at the same place and all that to do, because many of us are traveling and we are in different cities at different points in time. So whatever is your setup, carry that. Your asana, whatever else you use for your sadhana, carry that safely in a nice, pious, protected way, and do your sadhana wherever you are. Try to keep the timing consistent. Even if that is not, then the amount of time that you are doing the practice every day, keep that consistent. And that itself will bring a lot of steady focus for you. So with those first four things that I discussed, that being a perfect student and a disciple, being consistently anchored to a guru, a god, a paddhati, a pranali, being steady in your focus of what you want to achieve from your sadhana, being regular in your practice, you lay the foundations of Adhyātmik Shuddhi or spiritual Shuddhi in your life. But this has to also become a real transformation in your life. If you're following a certain mantra or a paddhati, what does that mean to my life? How can you bring that into your bhava, swabhava, kriya, which means how can you bring that into your intent and motivation and motives? Bring it into your behaviors, bring it into your kriya and actions in life. That's something that you have to do. Like, let's take example of, let's say you are doing Lakshmi sadhana, and each of the Ashta Lakshmis has got beautiful qualities. Are you imbibing those? Are you transforming yourself? If you don't transform them, where will Lakshmi's energy come towards you? You're doing half an hour, 45 minutes of sadhana, and the rest of the day you're living your life very randomly. What's the point? So you have to understand that your sadhana has to be aligned with the rest of your life. That's what you have to do to truly usher in the energy in your life. Right? So whether you are chanting a mantra or you're reading the Bhagavad Gita or you're reading the Upanishads, whatever it is, bring that transformation into real life. Apply it to your leadership, apply it to the way you run your household, apply it to the way you're exercising or taking care of yourself. And that transformation is going to be very critical. And with those 5 things, live your entire life as a tapasvi. Be regimented, be disciplined, wake up on time before sunrise if you are working through the day. Some of us work in the night. So then you'll choose whatever a consistent time is. Whatever is the time that you wake up, do your kriyas, do your vandana, do your puja kriyas, etc. Maintain your hygiene, maintain a daily schedule, do all the things that you need to do in a day fully. Live with that focus. Bring those first 5 steps and apply it consistently to your entire life. That's when you will be living like a tapasvi. So if you want Adhyātmik Shuddhi, focus on these 6 things. Start with being a perfect student and a disciple. Be consistently anchored in a guru, a paddhati, a grantha, a jnana, and focus and go deep. Keep your focus consistent, which means what are you trying to achieve from your spiritual sadhana and journey. Be regular in your practice and bring that transformation and earn that transformation in your life and live like a tapasvi. Along with the other 3 things that I've already spoken about, which is the physical shuddhi, mental shuddhi, the karya shuddhi, and the Adhyātmik Shuddhi, I'm sure you will be able to achieve a lot in your life. Wish you the very best in your journey of achieving Shuddhi so that lasting happiness comes to you. I will see you soon with another topic and another set of things that will help you improve your life. Till then, Jai Mahakal, Jai Mahakali.